how do you think knowing more about neuroplasticity or neuroscience can help develop growth mindset?
I won't answer specifically on neuroscience or plasticity, but I will say that having more information always is helpful. It's like, you're going into a battlefield and you have one gun with 6 bullets is never enough. So you're always going to pack extra bullets, extra ammunition, because you never know when you're going to use it. So additional information just arms you better. It makes you more ready. It also builds your internal confidence, because if I know I have ammunition, I am confident. If I keep thinking about, oh, I might run out of ammunition, then my confidence is gone, right? So if I'm going to think about a change of some sort, for example, I say, I want to lose weight. All right, I want to lose weight for myself. Now, if I'm going to say that, I need to ensure that I actually follow through with the actions that are going to help me change. So the brain actually functions that way. You keep saying you want to do this, and then yet you keep eating all the wrong kinds of food. Obviously, it's not going to work, right? So we want to be able to make sure that the brain functions according to the actions that you're doing. Earlier, we were talking about words. We're now moving into actions, right? Because actions are what are going to follow. So if I need to run 5 miles, I need to run 5 miles. But I can't just keep telling myself I need to run 5 miles. I actually have to action it and do it. And that's the only thing that's going to help me actually achieve the objectives that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good.
And I'd like to echo what you just said. I used to be a person, my brain in the past worked in this way. 3 steps whenever I encounter a problem. Firstly, classification. Is it negative or positive? Secondly, emotion comes in. If it's negative, I feel bad, I feel worried, anxiety. And thirdly, maybe I would never come to that step because I feel so anxious or worried about the problem, to problem solving. So I got aware of this, and then I learned, put into action to skip the first and second step.
Yep.
I don't classify this positive or negative, and no emotion. I just take this as a learning opportunity. And what is the solution? I don't need to be perfect.
Exactly.
I learn from that and then move on. So you would also, this confidence, the word you use, I felt much more confident in front of problems.
Right.
I don't want to run away anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. I just stay firm.
And you just mentioned the magic word there. We don't have to classify them as positive or negative. We need to classify them as opportunities and something new to learn. I'm not good at it. That's fine now. I don't have to keep telling myself I'm not good at it. My question to myself is, okay, how do I get better at it? How can I learn more? How can I find out more? And that goes back to the neuroscience that you were talking about. The plasticity of the brain is learning to be able to adapt and function accordingly, as long as I'm willing to say, hey, that's a new opportunity for me. Let me learn it. I don't have to keep saying, I don't know it. I just say, I want to learn it. So it's changing the words. And as you can see, while we are talking, we talked about mental state. We're talking about the actions that we use. We earlier talked about the words you speak. But again, what am I saying to myself? I'm not saying it's negative or positive. I'm saying to myself, it's an opportunity to learn. So again, the words you speak are connected back again. So it's all a circle, and it's all kind of connected with each other, and again, in sync with each other. So it all makes sense.
Wonderful. Yes. You just
Good.
mentioned positive and negative, and I think we can put it into another two words, success and failure.
Yes.
How do you, I think people with fixed mindset and people with growth mindset will define these two terms or experience differently.
Yes,
Do
they
you
will.
think so?
Yes, definitely. People, in fact, I don't use I don't specifically answer questions about success or failure because it's a very relative term. Because what is success for you may not be success for me. What is success for me, for you, that might be only a failure. That's not even success. So it's a very relative term, right?
Mhm.
Instead of that, I think we need to start focusing on things like how much do I want to improve? What do I want to improve in? What do I want to achieve from it? I think that is more. So having your objectives clearly defined, I think makes a big difference. Terming it as success or failure, because what is success today, tomorrow will be deemed as not successful enough because things around us are moving. I mean, very simply, if you just look at technology, nowadays, and you are in that business, so you should be able to answer that better than anyone else. Technology is moving so fast that what we used to feel was a success 10 years ago, nowadays, that's not considered success. That's like an average thing. That's just something that you should be doing anyway. It's a given. So it's not considered successful. Now you need to go one step higher or one step higher or one step higher in order to be deemed as successful. But again, success is only determined by you yourself. So you need to define what success means to you and go about it according to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautifully said.
Thank you.
And for, okay, success, I think most of the people would love success. No one wants failure. But I think if you want to have a growth mindset, you need to be having the courage to encounter failure or mistake or error.
Yeah.
But from where can we gain courage to welcome, to embrace failure, mistakes?
Yeah, I think nobody. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I think most people cannot embrace failure, but people can embrace mistakes because we're human, and humans do make mistakes. As long as we're willing to get up and try again, and learn from that mistake and change it around and do it differently this time, we will be heading towards what we term as success, right? But if you look at just the word failure itself, I think most people, no matter how confident they are, failure is not a term that they're willing to, accept.
Agree.
People don't like that word. It's just so negative. So it really gets you off. So to answer your question, how can we do it? Very simple. And I think I've mentioned this to you before in one of our previous sessions, is practice, practice, practice is the only way we're ever going to get better and better and better, right? Whether it's with our relationships, whether it's with the choice of words, whether it's with our anger management, whether it's with our frustrations, whether it's with our impatience, no matter what you talk about, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, right? As long as you're trying it out differently. If you're going to do it the same way as you did the first 10 times, the end result will always be the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're going to, and I've seen people do that, they do the same thing again and again and again, and then they get frustrated. Why is it not working? I'm going like, but you haven't changed anything. You're still doing it the same way. And if you keep doing it the same way, you are going to get the same result. So you got to tweak it, change it, move it around a bit. Ideally, get opinions, get feedback, get suggestions, options from people, and try those out. The more you do that, you're willing to listen to people, you're willing to accept ideas and try out different things, your confidence and the courage automatically increases. Right?
I like that.
But so I-type people.
And if we are not the same type, I think I would be in trouble. Like, say, if I'm the I-type who is like so spontaneous, creative, saying yes to everything, and then not getting prepared sometimes,
you will have problems.
And then if you are the other type,
yeah,
you might be disappointed. If it's an S person who are more people oriented, for C person who need details, if I don't send you the question before I coming here, I think you would say, please come next time.
Yeah.
And then for D,
C-type needs more details, definitely. So we'll talk about C-types in a while.
Yeah.
D-types just don't want you beating around the bush and not getting to the point.
Yeah. They'll probably give me a 5-minute briefing before the podcast.
They will.
You could do it or not.
Yes.
Yes, then do it.
Yes.
If not, then.
And then if that is the D type, right?
Yeah.
And then the C type will say, all right, so you understand what the podcast requires? Okay, good. Tell me what is required. They want to check back. They want to check back to make sure, right? So that's a lot.
I will be like, I don't know. I would know what I will say when I say it.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know? I type are very spontaneous. No, I's are very spontaneous that way, and they are. See, when I said the negative is also optimistic, is because they're not practical enough, and that is, if somebody was to question them and say, "Okay, you believe you can do it. How are you going to do it?" They have no answer.
Yeah,
because they haven't thought through it yet.
Yes.
They'll just say, "Don't worry, we'll do it." So I keep pushing and say, "Okay, but how?" Then comes the magical sentence, "Trust me."
Yes, trust me.
When people say, "Trust me," don't trust them. Seriously. Because that actually shows you that they have not actually thought about it, but they're just confident. They're always confident, always optimistic.
And they're always very good at getting away.
Yeah.
With their likability and personal charisma.
Relationships. They're very good with building relationships. And I and S have a similarity. They're both good relationship builders. The difference is I initiates the relationship. S is happy to be part of a team, part of a group, part of a relationship.
Yeah, and keeping the relationship.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I'm not necessarily very good at maintaining it, but initiating it, yes.
Yeah.
But keeping.
Well, and that's why all of us have. Now, if it is a relationship that you really value, you will maintain it.
Yeah.
You will go out of your way to maintain it. So we will turn into that S when it's needed. If everyone listening is going to be able to say, all right, I know Nikita is a C type and I'm going to meet with her. If that's the case, then I can go prepared. So I'm consciously ready. And I won't get frustrated when she asks too many details because I expect her to ask details. She's C-type. So all I want people to do is from subconsciously, change it to consciously.
Yeah.
And then we deal with people better.
Yeah.
So maintaining a relationship, you can, as long as you feel, I need this relationship, I value this relationship, so I need to prepare. This is, and I know he's this type, so I'm going to do this type.
Yeah.
Conscious. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on to the next one, which is the S type. Right. S type is almost the same as an I, except that don't worry about it. Except that they are just a little more passive. I types are more take initiative. They're outgoing. They're extroverts. S are more happy to be where they are. Happy to be part of the team. So that's why when we suggest people, when you're talking to an S type, don't use words that make them feel that you are getting them to stand out. They don't like it.
They don't like the spotlight.
They don't like spotlight.
Yeah.
So if you use words like, oh, no, you know what? We can all do this together. Or we will all be, they love that.
Yeah.
If you tell them, hey, if you do this, everyone will look up to you. no, thank you.
I would probably like it.
Yeah.
For S.
Yeah, S won't like it. I always wants to be in the limelight.
Yeah.
S don't generally like it. But if you use words like, for the sake of the company, for the sake of the team, they're more than happy to go along.
Yeah. We.
Yes.
Us. Are
We,
the magic
us,
word.
together, all those words are magical because they're the foundation. And they're the ones who actually create harmony in the team because it's togetherness.
Yeah. And something that I like in the workshop sessions and when S are there, they're people that are so gentle. And then they often, when they talk in their little S circle, it's like, oh, you go first.
Yeah, you go
first.
Yeah.
Oh, let's listen to everybody. And actually, in a meeting setting, we often might not notice them, but it's time where we need to ask them to contribute.
Exactly.
Because they might not initiate or
They
might
won't.
not be so proactive and raise their hand to
They
voice
won't.
out their opinions, but they have a lot of consideration of people, how this team want things to be done. So
Exactly.
it's great to invite them to, hey, so, we have heard everyone.
Yeah.
And then
How about you? What do you think? Now, having said that, please remember, a lot of times the S-type people, when you tell them, what do you think? No, I'm okay.
With everything.
Yeah, everything.
I agree with what Jason
So they
said.
need a little more encouragement to speak. It doesn't mean if you ask them to speak, they'll speak immediately. I-type, even if you tell them, hold on, don't speak, they still would, let me just share one more idea. One more. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you ask the S-type from a group to present, do you actually name them and say, okay, Amito, will you share your group's ideas with me?
I'm usually very friendly style. It's like, Raju, maybe you could help the group
Interesting.
to share what you have discussed.
Okay.
We'd like to hear from you.
I do a slightly different way because, as we said, they don't like to be put under pressure. They don't like limelight. So I usually set the scenario up front and say, we have a whole day of session today. I want to make sure that everyone on the table has a chance to speak. So you guys decide who wants to speak first, who wants... Only towards the end of the day, if I find someone has not spoken, I will ask you personally to speak. So in their mind, they already know.
They're ready to
I can't run away from this, so I have to.
Okay.
And that little kind of a fear factor, but it's not a heavy fear. It's a mild fear. It works. Because they get a chance to pick the easy topic or the topic they're comfortable with.
Like to speak
exactly.
Yeah, that's very good tips.
Yeah, but we make sure we let them know, listen, everyone has to be involved. So you choose when you want to be. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And as a group, they decide, so it works out well.
Yeah. And we look at that person.
Yes.
Facilitated tricks.
Yeah, all these tricks, yes. And we have to use them because imagine if you have a few I people on each table. Nobody else will get a chance to speak. It's only the I's. Right? And the D's will be just sitting in the corner and rolling their heads. Oh, God.
And it's like, okay, this is what you have discussed, right? Point 1, 2, 3. Like after 3 minutes, this is only 3 points that you made.
And they have a tendency of repeating themselves. Even if they say they have 5 ideas, if you listen carefully, I-types may actually have only 2 ideas. The other 3 are kind of repeated and a combination of the first 2 ideas. So it looks like a lot, but actually if you drill it down, it may be only 2 or 3 real ideas. So, but it's just different styles. Again, going back to my initial statement, and I don't want to sound like a parrot, but it's something people need to realize. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just a style.
Yes.
Communication style.
Yeah.
So coming to the last one, the C.
C.
How do you deal with C types? To you, what are C types?
C types are people who are detail oriented and they like fact, data, things that are concrete and like, what else is in there?
Evidence,
proof. Proof.
Yeah.
They like plan.
Yeah, if you tell me something, I'm not going to believe it just because you told me. Show me something. Facts, statistics, numbers, whatever it is that you show them. Share an example of where it's been used before. I might accept it. right?
Yeah.
Examples,
Proof.
yeah, some sort of a proof, whether the proof is in the form of numbers or it's in the form of how will you handle groups like this? Well, 2 years ago we had a group like that, and if you share that example with them, they can relate because it's something that has been done. They are not very high risk takers unless it's a very calculated risk. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, risk is fine, calculated. They don't like to jump into something without realizing what's at the bottom.
Yeah.
They're not going to jump.
Yeah.
People will jump.
Yeah.
They'll go like, we'll see what happens.
They jump.
So where Raj and I come in is we have the best restaurants, we have the best hotels, we have the best of everything. I call it the best, the tallest, widest, largest, highest, the est of everything.
You forgot the first.
The first, yes, first est.
Exactly.
So for me and for Raj, and for you, because we've spoken about this, I really want people to be on the top of their game.
Yes.
Whether it's in a restaurant, hotel, any service industry, we need to be at the top. And which Sheikh Mohammed's plan is to be the number one in the world in several years to come. Raj and I want to help bring that about. We want people to know and go the best and be the best that they can be, whether it's serving you in a restaurant or checking in at a hotel or the person at the airport. You want people from the moment they come, their experience in Dubai is like, wow, the people are top. And this is what we do, and this is what we want to do, and what we want to continue to do.
True.
If you want to add to that.
Yes, just adding on to that, I think it's easy to build fancy infrastructures, tall buildings, as you said, the first and the tallest and the biggest. If you don't have the software to run it properly, and by software we mean people, that whole first impression goes down. So we want to be able to say, well, you've got such fancy structures, now have the right people in front of it to be able to project that right image as well. The warm, welcoming feeling of for tourists, for people coming into Dubai, it should always be an aha moment.
Absolutely.
Everything they come into contact with is aha.
First
wow.
class. First class.
Yeah.
Even the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My dream, if I might say,
Yes.
my dream of dreams, and I just mentioned this to someone, is I wish that we, Raj and I, and the company, and if it grows, we'll be thrilled, before people even that are in the service industry even get their visa, that they take, whether it's a 2-3 day course on customer service. Because customer service, it's not particularly for this or for that, it's for everything.
Yeah.
How do you serve? How do you speak to the client? How do you welcome them to this amazing place that we live?
Right.
So that's like my dream of dreams, but dreams do become reality.
Yes.
So I'm saying, Sheikh Mohammed, I hope you're listening to me, please.
I think he is. Like you said, Liesa, from the minute or the second they touch Dubai soil,
Yes.
they have to experience that Dubai experience, which is different and more and unique, and doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And that's where you guys come in with the amazing training services and beautiful bespoke trainings that you offer. I'd like to know more about that. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure.
Raju?
I know Liesa touched on the hospitality portion of it, but basically our focus is soft skills. And what we mean by soft skills is anything to do with people skills. I've written a book on dealing with people because people, I believe, are the most complicated subject on earth. You could be having a meeting with one person in the morning and feel, oh, that wasn't too hard. It was easy. And then in the afternoon, the same person, and you get a wham, and you go like, what happened to this person? So it's people, and we change. Why do we change? Many factors. We've had a bad experience, we had a run-in with our boss, we had a bad customer, whatever the case might be, you will end up, all those emotions, all those feelings get affected, and therefore we become a tougher person. So people skills is one of the critical ones. And because it's people skills, we are not tied down to any specific industry. So when you have logistics, when you have real estate, agents. Yes, they need selling skills, again, which is primarily people skills. You're trying to deal with people. You're making people change. You want them to buy something. You want to influence them. And those are all the kinds of topics that we do. We talk about change management. We do leadership skills. We do selling skills. We do customer service skills. We do presenting. We do influencing, we do negotiation, and obviously I can go on and list out all our programs. But in essence, it's all about how effectively can you deal with the other person doing the job that you are assigned to do. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
You design these amazing.
Yes.
Tailor-made to each
Tailor-made,
company and what
yes.
they'd like. And if I can add to what Raj has been saying, we do oil and gas companies,
Yeah.
As well.
insurance companies, as Raj mentioned, logistic companies. A salon can call us tomorrow and say, hey, listen, I'm opening and I want my staff trained. We tailor it to what they need and what they want. So we're not following one specific formula because every company or corporation needs something different. We've worked with Bloomberg, we've worked with Reuters, we've worked with casinos, we've worked with hotels, hospitals, you name it,
Literally
airlines.
all kinds of industries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys have been around since 1995, if I'm not mistaken.
97 exactly.
97.
Yeah.
Okay.
95, 90. Well, I in the training industry longer than that, but our own company since about 97. Yeah.
Amazing. So could you share a few of the big clients that you've worked with? Could you share a few names?
Sure. In terms of airline, Cathay, because I'm based in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So the Hong Kong airline, which is Cathay, we've done work for them. We've done bits and pieces of work with other airlines like Singapore Airlines, but bits and pieces here and there. We've done stuff for banks. So Bank of America is definitely a client of ours. We've done work with Citibank. I was tasked to do a specific program for Citibank for their salespeople, focusing on non-resident Indians. They had a specific team looking after NRIs. And they said, we want to focus on these people, and we have a team of 80 people, and we want to train them. So we actually flew into Dubai, we flew to Bahrain, we flew to India, we did training in Singapore, we did training in Thailand because they had their offices in these regions, and they were focusing only on NRIs. So banks we've done, airlines we've done, logistic companies, people like CNA, people like Li and Feng, all these companies. We've done training for the back end of Chanel. What do I mean by the back end is the people that look after the infrastructure, the IT portion of it. And it used to be called Solsen Technologies, based out of Bangalore in India. Now they've been acquired because they were doing so well. They've been acquired by a company called Gemini. So, I mean, pretty much all the brands we can think of, all these Chanels and Ralph Lauren's and all these, we've done training for retail outlets, we've done training for diamond merchants, we've done, literally under the sun.
You've covered each and every sector I can think of.
As long as they're dealing with people, yes, that's where we shine.
Amazing. And you're here in Dubai right now as we speak, doing one of the leading companies, which I'm not going to share any names, of course, but you've done amazing training yourself and Liesa for one of the leaders.
Grateful to say they are very happy. And if I can add to that, they keep calling us back because they're expanding. So they obviously like what we're doing. They've expanded hugely in the past 3 years. And very grateful that they enjoy what we're doing and they have results. That's why they're growing. Just recently, we started, and Raj will touch on it, cash method for real estate, which is just sales basically. But it was funny, when we did the advertising for the real estate cash method, the most successful companies are the ones that called us and said, can we get more? Can you come to us directly? We've had like some new companies and they would like us to come back already. But some big major ones called us and said, you can never learn too much. And that's smart because their teams are successful, but they wanted to know more.
That's and also amazing. Because they're willing to invest in
their
their people.
Yes.
And that's the biggest mindset that you need to see in organizations of that size who are saying, we are leading, but we want to invest in our people so we continue to lead and not have to chase.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Cash methodology, just building on that, is basically an approach we've developed, which is CASH, which is the technique of asking questions in the right manner so that you're able to uncover needs that the customer has, which the customer may or may not have realized themselves. So sometimes what happens is you have clients who say, I want this. But as you and I know, they want it doesn't mean that that's what they actually need. But you can't tell a customer, no, you don't want that, you need this, because that sounds like you're pushing for something else, and customers literally back off.
Shut down.
Right?
Yeah.
So we don't do that. We ask them questions and find out why is that important to them. And then as you ask the right quality questions, you find out, or they realize, oh my God, I need something else. I need this more than I need that, and I need it now. So the key factor there is the urgency that is created, because you will have customers who will say, okay, that sounds good, I'll think about it. Because what we talk about our pain points. If the pain points are not large enough, people can wait. But if the pain points are big and I'm hurting, I want my solution now.
Now, not now, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And that's why in selling, that becomes crucial, because you don't want your customers to say, all right, let me think about it. You want them to say, no, can I get it right now? I want it now. So half the time, using the cash methodology correctly, obviously there's a lot of practice involved in all our training programs. We don't do lecture styles. It's all highly interactive, and we get them to do a lot of role plays and exercises, because we want them to walk out of the room knowing how to use the skill. Not, okay, I think I know what it is, I'm going to try it out. No, try it out here.